There's a hole in my budget, dear David, dear David. There's a hole in my budget, dear Cameron, my dear.
Then mend it, dear Georgie, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn. Then mend it, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn, my dear.
But how shall I mend it, dear David, dear David? But how shall I mend it, dear Premier, my dear?
Well, open your pensions, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn, and steal some from taxes, dear Chancellor, my dear.
Cut back education, dear David, dear David, and ban immigration, dear Cameron, my dear.
Cut back public spending, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn. Stop libraries from lending, dear Chancellor, my dear.
Turn off all the street lights, dear David, dear David, and close all those toilets, dear Cameron, my dear.
Do not pay the EU, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn, and that could go up to, dear Chancellor, my dear.
Cut back on all benefits, dear David, dear David, and axe some more nurses, dear Cameron, my dear.
And get rid of Scotland.
Oh, yes!
Yes, fresh referendum,
Oh,
dear
dear.
Chancellor, my dear.
Rich voters will hate us, dear David, dear David. They won't re-elect us, dear Cameron, I fear.
Then cut down some taxes, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn. Boost rich men's finances, dear Chancellor, my dear.
But where is the money to come from, dear David? But where is the money to come from, my dear?
Why out of your budget, dear Chancellor, dear Osborn? Why out of your budget, dear Georgie, my dear?
But there's a hole in my budget, dear David, dear David. There's a hole in my budget, dear Cameron, my dear.